Hello and welcome to the rant video. This is a long-awaited video. And let's just open RTA really quickly. As you can see, I did end up ending Challenger. Insane! I never thought I would be back in Challenger, especially given the last season. Again, I downgraded from a champion player to a player who was barely scraping by Master. And now, we ended Challenger. Now you might be wondering, did I make it to Challenger with skill? No! If anything, it was worse. I had to break one of my core principles. I used Ron. Now, if this sounds like a small deal to you, listen, to me personally, it is a big deal. If you go back a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago, you will see me saying, damn, Ron is such a pathetic, cheap, easy character. I thought a Ravi meta was the worst meta in the game. I used to hate Crimson Seed Ravi, but this, unfortunately, this season has proved me wrong. I quit the game when Pyrrha was a new character. I was like, no, I refuse to play RTA until a while after. This thing is too toxic. But then, you know, after Pyrrha, we got some counters, namely, DJB got a buff. At the time, I had no DJB, so, you know, not really a counter, but she disappeared for a good while. And then what happened? Well, after DJB's thing, Karina came out, who was really difficult to deal with, and blah blah blah, you know the shenanigans. The unit that really broke me, or the unit that made me actually stop playing the game for a little while, was none other than Knuckle. I really hated this unit. Now, Lua and Knuckle, pretty toxic. Disliked them as hell. However, I said at the time, maybe if counters arrive, I'll consider it. And then they released Laya. And I really hate to be that person. I genuinely dislike Laya. I mean, just think about it. They're allowed to make such... I don't even know where Laya is on the thing. But yeah, they're allowed to make such crazy units because the player is just gonna pick Laya. Am I right? I mean, just look at Harsetti. To counter Harsetti, they created this thing. They created Young Senya just for Harsetti. They keep making nightmare units, and the only reason they're allowed to make such nightmarish debuffers is because they've overbuffed LRK. They've overbuffed, they released Laya in a broken state. Now, I mean, just look at Emma Luna and the way she came out. It's genuinely one of the most disgusting units I've ever seen. There were battles where I swear to you, it's just, I get speed checked. My Zeo got speed checked by a Politis. This thing has a base speed of 120. No stats are required. You don't need effectiveness, you don't need ER, you don't need HP, you don't need anything. It's just all HP. And the same thing applies to Luna, if I can even find her. Let me just scroll a bit. There she is. Emma Luna. It's just this thing. 7-turn cooldown. Bait, by the way. You reduce it by 3 turns. 50% CR on S2, because this makes sense, you know. And then more CR on S1, up to 20%. It's insane. Every game I would play, or at least the majority of games I would play, would be first pick Emma Luna or first pick ML Politis, and then they just call it a day. Now, I thought Abyssal Euphine was a nightmare last season. I thought Emma Landy was a nightmare last season. But I don't know, did Genua change something? Did Midnight Gala do something? These units are just no longer concerning to me. In fact, the game that got me to Challenger was against the Candy and the Karina. You can look that up in my match history. Honestly, I should have opened my match history just to convey my point. It is genuinely disgusting how, if the enemy has no answer to my anti-cleave, or rather, if he has no answers to cleave, right? Instead of going Crimson Armor like they used to, instead of going the Angel of Flight, instead of going Sage Ball, instead of going Dragon King Sharoon to stop stuns, instead of going Moon Bunny to go anti-extra turns, blah blah blah, you get the gist. No, they just lock in Bright Senya, and then they lock in BBK. It's really... This is the game. It's all Bright Senya BBK. I don't know what to say, man. This unit is disgusting. This unit, alongside Amiki. Listen, I thought Genua was insane. Hey guys, when he drops under 50% HP, he deletes us with a Hwayoung S3. This one's worse. I don't have Veronica. I mean, I'll just show you my main story progression. Now, I did read the story. I know main story, okay? I'm the lore guy. Sorry to say, I'm not the gameplay guy. I don't like playing episode 3. This thing's so boring. It's so bad. And then you have this. Man, Zio and Lua are the worst antagonists I've ever seen in my life. But that's for another video. I've already ranted about them in the past. I mean, there's a whole point in the story where Light Aiden slaps, or rather, my bad. Who was it? Aiden and Arya basically follow Lua's instructions, you know? And someone has to beat up Light Aiden, or rather, Aiden herself, right? Someone has to beat her up, or rather, Aiden beat up Ron, being like, hey, pull the wool out of your eyes, Lua's controlling you. And then Ron goes to Arya, and again, Arya, the same person who hates humans, trusts Lua. And so Ron is like, pull the wool out of your eyes. Lua's evil. And they're like, oh, Lua's evil? Ain't no way. And then just Aladad and just, you know, oh, guys, remember Aladad, the name we mentioned a while ago? Wait, what do you mean the plot twist has been spoiled? Just play Sharoon event. That is it is the worst reveal of a villain. Anyways, you expect me to play episode 5. You expect, like, I hate Breek, okay? I'm sorry. Amazing design, amazing everything. Bad character. They messed him up. Oh, let's not start on Elvira and the other problematic characters of this episode. This episode, hands up in the air. And so, for story purposes, I'm not excited to play main story. And I'll tell it to you straight up. If I had Veronica, if I had Emma Ludwig, I would be champion easily. But why didn't you get those units? Wow, Laia is an otherworldly visitor? What? Huh? She's a vampire, though. She's not an otherworldly visitor. Anyways. So, yeah, it's insane. Every game I play. And again, I understand. I'm the one cleaving. I would first pick Zio, then I would go Frida or Jacko or blah, blah, blah. And so, they're allowed to make these insane first turn debuffers because of this unit right here. Like, it's bad. It is really bad. And fortunately, I've only had the displeasure of playing against Emma Lua twice. We're gonna ignore I lost to her twice, but that only confirms it to me. This unit was good. Like, I don't care if Mort exists. I don't care if X and Y units exists. Yeah, this unit's good, and they buffed her. I mean, sure, you can... A case could be argued that, oh, she was weak on release. But that's the thing. Every ML5, if they release in a lackluster state, they just buff them immediately. But God forbid an RGB unit starts to fall off. Huh, let's give him a exclusive equipment. You know, it's really bad that I'm putting Zahak because he's already buffed. But genuinely, where did Zahak go? Oh, let me guess. Light Aiden is useless now because you have units like Mort to prevent her from counterattacking. You have Shaltir, you have Briarwitch Izeria, you have ways to snipe Light Aiden. It's like, wow, we made units that can attack dodge units, and you know, evasion has never been a thing ever since. What? It's like when we made critting units like Fire Ravi and Midnight Galileulius, and we buffed ML Ken. Oh, suddenly Candy is weak? No way. And then they made defense scaling units like Karina, Abyssal Yufine, blah blah blah. They're, you know, the like. And then, oh my god, Genua released? ML Haste got buffed? No way! Say less! Abyssal Yufine, no longer a thing. Candy, no longer a thing. What was it? Karina, no longer a thing. Lionheart Shermia became a meme before her skin even came out. Just let that sink in. And so, I'm genuinely disgusted by this season. I was disgusted by the last season, but it got worse. Every game. Oh, this guy's cleaving? Of course, after they pick their Emma Luna, after they pick their Abyssal Yufine, they would just go Empyrean Elenov. Or they would go Ruel, or they would go Delibet. Now, Delibet is a 50-50 case, honestly. I won against the most daily bets because I would use Judge Kise or something of that nature. But it's genuinely like, I played against so little units. Over half of my games were ML Politis, Luna, Benya, BBK. Something of that nature. Now, obviously, if I say every game was Luna, Politis, blah blah blah, that's not true. I had some games where they were not present. And when they're not present, I would kind of win easily. It's like Ron Frida is broken, or Zio Jacko is still broken. And so, that's the issue. Zio Jacko is tame. That's the issue. Zio Jacko has become tame. I thought they messed up when they made that stuff. But in this current meta, Zio Jacko is not the end-all be-all. I remember when people complained about Architect Laya, another unit who was buffed on release. This S2, S3 combo was pretty toxic. I remember when your biggest worry was Strays with Benimaru's Tachi. Oh my god, pay to win, guys. You can just build them speed to throw Benimaru's Tachi, call it a day. But even that doesn't work anymore, because I don't know, man. My issues with the game. Is there any point in talking about the issues of the game? Things expire way too quickly. And we're reaching a point where they have to release units that just go to the extreme level. And the majority of the cast can no longer compete. Now, funny enough, there is one unit that surprised me. If you look up the match history, not my match history, but... Okay, thank you, game. Sure.
Did you want to see me?
No. I probably missed my daily summon as well. Who cares? Anyways, one unit that had a really high increase in win rate, who is not a new character, is Ludica, and this surprised me. But then I dove into it. This S2 is used with Renewed Will, and she already has a pretty high base speed, 124. And so, yeah, just look it up. There was one player who spammed Fire Ludica Renewed Will with just nothing but S2, S3 combo. And it surprised me, because, oh my god, someone's actually playing Fire Ludica? Like, her win rate went up very high. And that's the issue. Now, all you do is just go this. Let me show you. Actually, let me see if Hall of Trials has ended. I really hate Hall of Trials. This thing is so garbage. Well, I don't have enough Fate's Gazes, but basically, hold on. I also hate the music of Hall of Trials, so let's do it this way. Okay, let's look at Briarwitch. So, with the Briarwitch exclusive equipment, I would be 264 speed. What you should be doing is you should just be doing this. You should just go max speed. Now, ideally you have some effectiveness, but your thing should look like this. 260 and then plus 10, 270 speed right there. I mean, you can even just get more speed. What am I doing? I'm misleading you. Like, you can just genuinely do this. And what's the problem? This is a 289 speed Briarwitch. You could genuinely do this. And again, I'm not saying you can replicate this gear easily, but I'm just saying, with Renewed Will, you can just do this, go straight up Briarwitch, call it a day. And who can stop you? It's so boring, but you could technically do that. You could even just pick Veronica if they pick BBK, call it a day, that's a speed imprint, and your Briarwitch is already 300 speed. Like, I don't know what to say. This season was the definition of repetitive. Now, one unit I do want to complain about, which I understand he's vanished since the invention of, Chenille, but I should have cashed in early. DDR used to be the bane of my existence after his buff, but since I started playing Ron and such, he's no longer a big deal, because he's usually around 250, 260 speed. Slower side would be 220 at most, but yeah. You would never find a 300 speed DDR. It is like virtually impossible. 100 base speed, it's not happening. And so, this is another unit that on release, bad, they buff him, they nerf Crimson Seed, he becomes somewhat good, rather fun to play. And then they buff him to OP status. You know, this thing that required 5 focus to use, it just became instant, because why not? This S2 that gives the entire team CR push, plus a really strong buff, which inflicts debuffs and injury, blah blah blah. You know, why not? I see no problem with using 2 skills in the same turn, but yeah, it's insane. They made Chenille, boom, this unit's gone. But wait. Luna can be countered by Infinite Horizon Achates. Why didn't you use Infinite Horizon Achates? Is that really your strongest answer? They pick Selene. They pick something of that nature. And then what do? It's really difficult. Especially because I'm trying to cleave. And if Selene S2 is one of my core DPS, it is what it is. You know? It's so sickening that this unit exists in the game, by the way. Because you see this? Oh, when someone soul burns, increases the combat readiness of the caster by 20% and penetration by 30%. Like, really? This is like the laziest thing I've ever seen. You genuinely just soul burn Ron, soul burn Frida, and then this guy just gets to nuke you. It's boring. And if you really were, oh, I'm extra special at the game, you go Zeo, Frida, ML Ludwig, and then another mage, and call it a day. And what's your enemy's counterplay? Picking Bellion. And, you know, that's supposed to magically fix the problem. Guys, enemy picked Bellion. I can't even find Bellion here. Well, what's the deal? Did they change her spot or something? Really? What? She has to be here then. Yeah. Oh, guys, pick Bellion. Decreases amount of soul acquired of enemy by 100%. Like, genuinely. Look at Elvira. Oh, that thing released? Ooh. Enemy wants to play fighting spirit? Just pick Elvira, bro. It's so disgusting that this is the game now. Oh, enemy wants to play a counter build? Let me just pick the Great Mortelix. Haha, the existence of my unit prevents the enemy from playing their playstyle. Haha, now I have no sympathy for revived players, but I'm just saying, you want to play Maid Chloe, you want to play RB, you want to play so-and-so, you want to play Holy Sacrifice, well, you're not allowed. They just pick Briar Witch and call it a day. It's so disgusting that they're making such passives. Now, if you make someone like Politis, understandable. You make a unit like Selene, understandable. Enemy can't play Conquer Lilius because this thing just presses, you know, if enemy uses S3, which is the whole point of Conquer Lilius, this thing just presses S2, calls it a day. Oh man, you know, I have nothing more to say. It's just, this thing, or half the things I've said would apply to past seasons, and now it's just amplified even more this season. Oh, you like to play Genua? You like to play the so-and-so unit? Well, would be a shame if I introduced you to ML Ulanov. Just by existing, I've reduced enemy penetration resistance, and I get passive CR every time you attack. As if Angel of Flight wasn't boring as hell already, they made a DPS Empyrean Ulanov. Or rather, DPS Angel of Flight. You know what's the only thing missing? The only thing missing is they should add, oh, I'm immune to stuns and sleep and silence and blah blah blah. It's just, I thought Angel of Flight was bad. I thought a Ravi, counter a Ravi with Crimson Seed pre-nerf was pretty bad. I thought Ron Pira on release were pretty bad. But now, things have gone next level. Every battle where I've lost to an ML Luna or a ML Politis or something of that nature was a speed check. I only lose when there's speed checks. Or rather, there are moments where my enemy outplays me, you know? I will admit, I've lost because I played wrong, or I've lost because my enemy outsmarted me. Like that one game, if you watched my series, an enemy went Durandal with his Mediator Cowrick, and that actually won him the game. You know, my fault, I didn't pay attention to that. But aside of those instances, I'm genuinely disappointed. I really have nothing more to say. to just get speed checked. You know, I mean, makes sense, you know, between cleavers, the one with the fastest speed wins, right? But like, I don't know, man. I'm just really disappointed. It's just, the climb to master after I started cleaving was really easy. And the only reason it was easy is because I was gear checking my enemies to master. And then to champion, or rather challenger, my bad, I've seen another disgusting unit. Inheritor Amiki. Now, I didn't play against her much. I won against her both times. But this unit is the same thing as BBK. Arbitrary counterattacks. Because why not? I mean, let's see if we can see her Awakening Bull. Crap. Now, somewhere, there has to be something stupid here. Increases damage. No one cares. When an ally, except for the caster, is attacked, has a 15% chance to counterattack. Really, this is the unit people are using Uberius Tooth on. Think about it. Hwayong fell off so bad. They're using Uberius on this unit. Anyways, so you proc her. You know, you get her to 1 HP. She procs Immortality, pushes up as well with an attack buff, because why not, you know? I love skills. You know, I love actives that act as a passive, you know? And there's this S3, which almost is always guaranteed to kill. Unless you have ML Ulunov, of course. And so she kills with S3. And that just returns her S2. Am I in the wrong for thinking this is absurd? Am I in the wrong for, like, again, at least she's a specialty change unit. At least she's not the rare ML5 where you have to think twice before you summon. You know, oh, guys, there's a chance, you know? There's a chance I sink all of this Mystic Medals and I just can't get the unit. It has happened before. It took me 4 pities before I got my Nat ML5 from Mystic Summon. And so, is there anything more to add? Now, I really wish that they would experiment in this RTA season, which they won't. You know, hands in the air. The most experimental thing they've done is give Soul Weaver speed and then give Mages speed the next season. You know, the thing that makes me salty as well is I am a DN disliker. I genuinely dislike this unit. I dislike her skin. And people really love her skin, by the way. I'm not sure what's up with this skin, but her voice acting, terrible. There, I said it. Anyways, people really love this skin. But like, one thing you need to mention. She got a skin, she got an exclusive equipment, and she got the RTA speed buff all in one patch. That's what it took to make DN meta at the time. And I'm afraid that even if they give her back her speed... Oh yeah, did I forget to mention they also buffed her S2? It used to dispel only 1 debuff, now it dispels 2 debuffs. So yeah, they buffed this unit to insane lengths to make sure she's meta for 1 season. But now, I genuinely don't understand what they could do to make this unit meta again. Her time has expired. Like, sure, you can argue PvE though, but I don't play PvE. I dislike PvE. This game is trying to be a PvP game, yet this is your RNG. It is what it is. It is what it is. I really don't know what else to say. Like, they could make fun buffs like with Closer Charles, where if he uses S3, gets counterattack buff for 2 turns. That's not insane. I mean, Chu used to terrorize a meta because, oh my god, this unit counterattacks for no reason whatsoever. They could easily just make it so that every time Charles activates Smash, he gets a enhanced dual attack. And as long as he keeps proccing Smash, he will get the enhanced dual attack. You know, that's an easy fix for him, but they won't do that. You know, like, they could buff Crozet, a unit that has never, in the life of PvE and PvP, seen any usage. Because, really, who's spending Molagora on these skills? I wouldn't. And I'm the guy with a plus 15 silk, by the way. Like, they gave, what was it? Blooming Ludica a quality of life buff. They made it so that her S3 starts with 50% penetration and goes up all the way to 100% because Harseti limits speed. Why can't other units get similar quality of life? One thing I really dislike about Ludica is the fact that she's so reliant on her artifact. Without her artifact, she is not a real unit. I mean, technically arguable, you know, she can still one-shot with S3, but like, without her artifact, she loses like 50% to like 70% of her whole purpose. You're supposed to debuff, push back, and then you kill something with your S3 because you get the insane speed boost, right? And so without the artifact, well, sucks to suck, I guess. You know, before all this madness happened, they could have easily given Silk a exclusive equipment that for every one focus she has, she gets 20% hit chance. Where is that? Oh, they never made that. You know, they could have easily just made it so like, oh, one exclusive equipment increases the penetration amount, you know? Because here's what Smilegate did. They gave her penetration, but they reduced the S2 damage. What's the point? Anyways, they could have easily just given her increased hit chance. Boom, people would use her against Light Aiden. At the time, of course. Now, sure, you can argue it would expire today because no one plays Light Aiden. No one uses evasion units, but I digress. In fact, Evade has gotten so insane that they created something that not even... Okay, never mind. I was about to go against so many faiths just now. But this unit right here is the biggest mistake Smilegate has ever made. Whoever in their rightful mind decided, haha, I'm gonna make a 100% evade unit. I have nothing but mean words to say to you. Now, we're gonna ignore her S3, we're gonna ignore her S1 that does an insane amount of damage because, you know, with her artifact, one S1, boom, 18k damage on a ML Haste. This is my ML Haste, let me show you right. I don't think he had the most defense. This is my ML Haste, 1.3k defense, and I swear to you, Flan was hitting this guy for 2k damage, or 18k damage, and I would just look at the screen like, is this serious? I'm genuinely disappointed. Now, you can see my proof here. I did not use Afternoon Soak Flan. In fact, she's probably still in my summon thing. Let's have a look over here. Yep, I even got two somehow. She's over here.
We can do it together.
And yeah, I'm so disappointed that she can tank so much for free. I had to resort to Caesarea every game at this rate. Now, sure, you can argue, just use Shaltier, bro. Fortunately, Eligos is getting a buff, but yeah. You know, Eligos buff. Hopefully he's gonna snipe some Afternoon Soak Flans. Let's look at the unit journal for a second. Let's look at ice units, you know. Let's sort all heroes, ice units, you know. Let's have a quick look over here. They could easily buff at Ice T1 where, boom, he gives the unit in the back 100% hit chance. Problem solved. They could easily just make his S3 give an enhanced dual attack. Problem solved. They could even make his back ally get a attack buff every time he uses S3, you know, because that's the whole point of Ice T1 for me, was use S3 with a soul burn and then push up with S2. But no, they won't do that. Classic Smilegate. And so, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. They could have made Ice Coley and just given her an exclusive equipment that made her S3. Hiya! I can ignore ER on a Moonlight. Boom, you solved this unit. Now, sure, some people would be pissed off that this 4-star is doing it, but like, who would use Coley? Her base kit is pretty weird. I mean, am I insane for thinking maybe they buff Muse Dreamer and just give her insane hit chance, you know? Won't happen. Like, it's so easy. It's so easy to make a counter to something. But they need to sell their moolahs, you know? After they make their money, a unit will become useless by the time her rerun arrives. Leafey, unusable. ML Chu is out, DDR is out. You have all these injury units, and then now you have ML Ulanov, who just makes this unit hit like a wet fart. Remember when this thing was strong? Me neither. Me neither. And so, yeah. I feel like if I dig more, I can find more, but like, it's really irritating to me that this is your answer to Afternoon Soak Flan. Of course, Caesarea works, but Caesarea is a limited unit with a limited artifact. Similar thing with Lidica. You want to use that thing? You know, because she was one of the reliable answers against Candy. Well, too bad, you don't have this limited unit, and by the time she reruns, well, she's bad again. Tough luck. Now let's look at Edward Elric. Common anti-cleave unit. Unfortunately, collab unit. Good luck with that one, Chief. You want to play against these cleavers, you need to use Laya. Too bad. Too bad. She's a limited unit. And so, the only units that are really usable, like really usable, are ML5s and limited units. And now you have this thing, who is anti-Harseta, but she's limited!
Now, Valencia.
I really hate your voice. She's the same voice as Politis, and I consider Politis a really good voice. Anyways, they nerfed Hua Young. But Hua Young no longer looks insane. Not anymore. Like, if you brought back old Hua Young, I would not be surprised. In fact, she would probably not even do half as good as she used to be, because you can just easily snipe her with a 250, 290, 300 speed unit now. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know, the crazy part is, this current Judge Kisei is better than pre-nerf Hua Young, and this Judge Kisei is pretty bad, unfortunately. Anyways, I'm really fishing for topics now. I don't know what to say. It's insane, but this is the rant video you wanted, and so this is the rant video you're getting. Imagine wanting to play for fun. Imagine wanting to use units you haven't used in a while. Strays, can't pull it off. All-rounder Wanda, can't pull it off. You want to bust out Charles? Well, you can't. It is what it is. I have nothing more to say. Thank you for watching. I won't see you on the next one. I'm not uploading Epic 7. Not until the end of next season or something. Bye.